Hey guys, it's Lauren Lajas, and I am here in a new year, still choosing violence. So for a little bit of pretext, I have been told many times in my life that I would have made a good motivational speaker, a therapist, maybe even like a life coach. And there's a part of me that thinks that because, I say insightful things. I like to think outside of the box and I like to share what I find when I'm out there. You know what I mean? I also like to bring different perspectives, and it is what it is. But I lack one key ingredient to be a good therapist or a life coach, and that's the inability to sugarcoat. I don't want to hold your hand sometimes when I say what I say. You know what I mean? I'm also that person that's going to say what everyone else is thinking, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So with that being said, here it goes. Plus size community, I got a message for you. In 2026, I want a lot of us to stop it with the victim complex. I'm just gonna say it. Stop with the victim complex. My shirt says fat bitch for a reason. And I feel like a lot of you guys have lost the plot on what it is to truly be body positive, right? To be in this body positivity movement. I'm here a little later in life and I'm gonna do it my way, right? If you want one of these shirts, it's on my website. But yeah, stop it with the victim complex. I'm tired of it, and so is a lot of people. Now, what do I mean when I say victim complex? I personally have a love-hate relationship with social media, as many people do. I love that social media can bring people together. A lot of people flock to social media to find a sense of community. And it's a double-edged sword now, because sometimes people are looking for community in other people who are also trying to bring down others, who are not trying to do anything about themselves, and they project their insecurities that they have for themselves on other people. And I see a lot of that in the plus size community. And why I had said this in another video, but I thought that it was very, very odd behavior to make slideshow presentations of celebrities, influencers, whoever, who you thought were on Ozempic. And basically, it's just a slideshow presentation of other people bringing down other people. And I'm like, for what? Because you don't like your bodies policed as plus size women. Why are you then trying to police other people's bodies? Whether that be skinnier women, whether that be bigger women that are now skinny because they lost weight, whether they're on Ozempic, a GLP-1 or not, that's none of your business, right? That's none of your business. Worry about your own body. You cannot preach bodily autonomy when it comes to weight loss if you're then going to attack other women, whether they choose to lose weight or not. Like that's not your choice to make. That's not your right? Because again, you wouldn't like it, and you don't like it when other people police plus size bodies, right? Losing the plot on body positivity. You can't pick and choose who you want to be positive about their body. That's not how this works, okay? I'm just gonna say it. Even sometimes I find myself wanting to express opinions about people's body, and it really is more on like the Botox and plastic surgery and the fillers. Like I think that like we're going a little too far with that, but then I'm like, why? I don't look at that face every day in the mirror. I don't look at that body every day in the mirror. I don't know what that woman is going through, and it's really none of my business. If it's gonna make her be more confident, then why? Why do I feel the need to say something? Right? No. Stop making comments about other people's bodies when you wouldn't want those comments said to you. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I know that I'm going to lose some people when I say this. But another thing that I see in the plus size community is that we're forgetting that there are very valid reasons to lose weight, right? Whether you want to be body positive when you're bigger, smaller, whatever, there are legitimate reasons for a woman to want to lose weight. Why those are the reasons that she has, that's none of your business either. And you shouldn't be going on the internet. You shouldn't be trying to bring down these women too when they choose to lose weight. Okay? Now, I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to try to give medical advice here, but I've had PCOS since I was 19. I am now 35, right? So for almost 2 decades. And so a lot of the reasons why I wanted to lose weight were health related. I also am a gym girly, right? I've been in the gym since I was 18, and excuse me for wanting to look a certain way because I've worked for that, right? And so a lot of my reasons were aesthetic. I wanted to look like what society tells me a gym girl looks like. Also, as a size 14, right? I am on the cusp of what the biggest size is for most brands, most stores, or whatever. And because sizes aren't regulated, a lot of times I have to go up. But because I tend to be the ceiling, oops, I'm out of luck, and I hate that, right? So a lot of the motivations that I've had for losing weight is because I kind of want it to be a little bit smaller. So if I had to go up a size, they would still have it. But now I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe I don't even want to do that anymore. Maybe I just make up my own clothing line, right? Again, as a size 14, I am the average size woman in America, meaning half of the women in America are bigger than me. You don't mean to tell me there's money there? You don't mean to tell me that there's more women that we could all pull our resources together and just start making our own clothing lines and clothing stores and clothing brands? I know that is easier said than done. And I'm doing my own research on it. I have too many pots on the stove right now, but it's something that I'm thinking about in the next maybe 5-ish years, because I am going to stop trying to change the world and acclimate the world to me. And I'm just going to, figure it out on my own and do something different. And I want a lot of women in the plus size community to understand that too. The reason why I stopped commenting on women's weight, and really it was weight loss, because I am not that person that's going to comment on a woman if she gains weight. Like that's not me, and I understand those struggles, and so I will never do that. But I was always that girl when I would see a woman that I would work with in close proximity, whether that be a coworker, whether that be a friend who was starting to lose weight. One of two things is what would come out of my mouth. I'd be like, girl, you look great. Like, keep on going. Like, you look great. Or I would be like, hey, you don't have to lose weight. You're beautiful just as you are, blah, blah, blah. And one time this coworker was like, Lauren, I'm trying to lose weight because I want to get pregnant. She had been trying to get pregnant for years, and she had another type of PCOS that causes infertility. And her doctor was like, look, I understand you're trying to, get pregnant and we're trying all these things, but maybe if you really chose to start losing weight, that would start regulating your hormones and your periods, and you could, get pregnant. And that's exactly what happened. And after that, I was like, Lauren, you don't know the motivations as to why women are trying to lose weight. Maybe stop feeling the need to comment, even though I was in a good headspace and I wanted to make her feel good. It's like, stop. We don't need to be doing this anymore. We don't need to, tell other women that she's beautiful as is, because we don't know. We don't know her journey. We don't know what she's trying to do. It's like, stop. We don't need to do that. And this rainbow is giving like this effect right here. But yeah, let's cut that out in 2026 too. I've also just seen some very mean videos on the internet. The recent one that prompted me to really want to do this video is I saw this plus size woman saying how like she can't wait for the next 5 to 10 years to see all these women on GLP-1s and the side effects that they're gonna have. And then it became a trend, because you know how like a lot of people don't have originality on social media, so they see that someone says something clever, so then they, copy it so they can go viral, so they can get the likes and the engagement and whatever. And I was like, I wanted to be mean. I really wanted to be mean. And I wanted to be like, check back in 5 to 10 years when your arteries are still clogged, when you have heart disease, when maybe you were trying to start a family, and because you didn't lose weight to regulate your hormones and your periods, you have no children, right? We sometimes forget that there are other motivations other than aesthetics or other than, the negative aspects of maybe being plus size that women choose to lose weight. But of course I didn't say that, guys, so don't come for me, but I wanted to, because I was like, really? Like, really? Like, now you're wishing ill on other women who are choosing to use GLP-1s. Like, I just like, no, we're not going to do this in 2026. Okay. Stop. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. A lot of these women maybe are trying to be plus size influencers, and it's just like, that is the message that you want to tell younger women or young girls, impressionable women and people, that like, let's bully women who choose to use GLP-1s, bigger women who chose to lose weight. I use Adele as a prime example. I love Adele because I feel like we're similar in the fact that we have no like filter. And I remember when she lost a lot of her weight, she had said that she was in a mental state where she felt weak, so she wanted to physically feel strong, so she started losing weight. Also, when the plus size community came for her, because I guess we felt like we lost a champion, we lost someone that, you know, we could identify with, she said something that stuck to me. And it was like, it's not her job to validate others. And I was like, yes, say it louder for the people in the back. It is no one's job to make you feel seen and heard and validated, right? It's not. And stop trying to seek that in others, and maybe seek it in yourself. All right, so to wrap it up, some of the things that I said in this video might have come off as harsh, but I think a difference in behavior needs to start happening. You know, I see a lot of women in the community, plus size women that I've known, plus size women that I see on social media, who are still trying to seek permission to exist. And it's like, girl, no, exist in your own beauty, exist in your own body, whether that be at the gym, at the pool, at the beach, on dates, on dating apps, or wherever you are. It's like, stop seeking permission to exist and just do it. Because like, what other options do you have? I really feel like one thing that I've had to learn in my life is like, the world is not going to acclimate to you, right? So you have two choices. Either you acclimate to the world and you lose weight, right? And that could solve a lot of the problems that plus size women speak on, or you say, fuck it, I'm a fat bitch and I'm gonna exist in whatever body that I choose to exist in, which is my personal option, right? Like, I'm not trying to tell plus size women to lose weight, but if that's what you wanna do, I support you, you know? But it's just like, stop seeking permission to exist and just exist in this bitch. You know what I mean? Yes, people are mean on the internet. So if you're gonna choose to still post, I get comments, right? And trust me, I'm gonna talk about why I chose to write fat bitch on a shirt, because like, you know, I get those comments. The first thing that men want to say to me is to try to belittle me because of my weight. Like, I've been there and I understand how that may feel, but it's just like, we don't need to bring other women down. Stop thinking that everyone who loses weight is on Ozempic. And even if they are, that's none of your business. More of the story is, no one's perfect, right? And as plus size women, the plus size community, we're not perfect either. And there's room for improvement. How do we improve? We stop feeling the need to police other people's bodies, whether that's skinny women who are getting skinnier, whether that's big women who are choosing to lose weight. And the thing is, like I said in my other video when I was talking about this, you guys aren't DMing these celebrities and these influencers to express your concern. It's about you, because you're feeling erased. Erased by who? You feel like you're losing your representation. Be the representation. No one is going to erase you unless you allow it, right? Take up space in these spaces, literally and figuratively, right? We don't need to seek permission to exist, whether that be on the internet, whether that be out in public, whether that be by men, because No, stop it. We can do better. Stop it with the slideshow presentations. I block anyone who does that, right? And I'm glad that I'm seeing less and less of them, because that is just ugly behavior. That's bully behavior, and we need to stop that too. Stop looking at GLP-1s as the enemy, right? Because for the first time in modern medicine history, being overweight, or obesity is starting to be looked at as like a disease, rather than it just being the product of bad choices, overeating, or laziness. And of course, the biggest hater of that are plus size women. We can do better. Plus size community, we can do better, and let's do better in 2026.